Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now, we have recently been investigating this American caliphate that has unfolded before our eyes over the last year or so. Now, we started this trip off investigating Islamburg in Hancock, New York, and from there we went over into Dearborn, Michigan, and Hamtramck. And during that trip, an attack happened. Last Wednesday, here at the Inland Regional Center, 14 people were massacred and 17 others were injured. Now, right down this very road is where multiple active shooter drills were taking place. Now, there was a rumor that maybe that was false, that was just some made-up stuff by a whole bunch of conspiracy theorists, but I actually had the opportunity to speak with one of the police officers. He's actually right here at the corner of this road right now. He was out here the other day when we first arrived on scene. And he said that there was, in fact, active shooter drills taking place right down the road, which is why police were able to respond with such quickness. Now, there had also been active shooter drills taking place here at this exact building, the main hall where the shooting happened. Now, a lot of people that were inside this building were texting their husbands, their wives, saying, hey, another active shooter drill just took place. Look, this time they're really taking it seriously. They've got their guns pointed, they're running at the building, what's going on? And within minutes, people started to realize that this was not a drill, this was an actual shooting. Now, the original reports was that there were 3 white men, tall, with an athletic build, who had went in this building and opened up fire on the people inside of a Christmas party.
Where I was at right here, we seen there was 3 white men in military fatigues taking off.
What were they driving?
It was Black Impala,
yeah,
like SUV, or yeah.
You think that they might have been the shooters?
Yeah, the way they were driving, yeah.
And now we have the narrative, the fact that what they're saying is that there was a man and a woman, Saeed Farouk and Tashfeen Malik, were the ones who actually carried out this attack. And now, after days of research and everyone getting information and finding out what's going on, we now know that the father of Saeed Farouk has come out and said that his son admitted to him that he was an ISIS sympathizer and that he had gone to Saudi Arabia where he had met his wife online, moved her here on a fiancé visa, got married and pregnant. Now, we spoke to 3 gentlemen who actually went to the same mosque as Saeed, and they said they saw 0 clues of any kind of radicalization or anything pointing towards something like this. One of the gentlemen there said that he had spoken to Saeed and that he had dreams of getting a master's and he was going to school, and it didn't make sense that someone with aspirations of an education would go and carry out something like this.
This was around the time that his wife was gonna have, give birth, and he was gonna become a father. And I remember in those days he was saying that I'm planning on going and pursuing a master's. So that alone just said to me that a person that wants to get a master's, it shows that they have some forward thinking in life, that they're gonna go and they're thinking some betterment for their family, something, advancing or something like that.
And now we have footage today that have surfaced again of a lady who worked here. And she talks to, I believe it is CBS News, where she says, hey, it's 3 white guys. They're tall, they have an athletic build. Look for these people.
We just looked and we saw 3 men dressed in all black military attire with vests on. They're holding assault rifles.
You're certain that you saw 3 men?
Yes. It looks like their skin color was white. They looked like they were athletic build, and they appeared to be tall.
So what is the story that's going on? That's why we're here investigating, because we know that there have been false flags in the past. We are here simply investigating, trying to find out the truth that the mainstream media time and time again hides, and they manipulate to help push a narrative to further political gain. Now, what kind of political gain can we get out of this? Well, Obama wants stricter gun control. Right after the community college shooting in Oregon, what did Obama do? He came out and said we need stricter gun control. We have this right here. Obama comes out, makes an historic speech at the Oval Office, the 4th one in his entire presidency. And what does he do? He said that we need stricter gun control and that we also need to be able to block anyone who is on a no-fly list from purchasing guns.
To begin with, Congress should act to make sure no one on a no-fly list is able to buy a gun. What could possibly be the argument for allowing a terrorist suspect to buy a semi-automatic weapon? This is a matter of national security. We also need to make it harder for people to buy powerful assault weapons, like the ones that were used in San Bernardino.
Now, neither one of the people who were involved in this, Tashfeen or Saeed, were on the no-fly list. So where this comes from, I have no idea. This is just another horrible event, a tragedy that he has taken and twisted for his own political gain. Now you have 14 people dead. That's 14 family members that are mourning and going through such a tragic loss. This stuff is happening at an alarming rate. And for one reason, because the Obama administration wants to leave the borders wide open. They want to allow these radical jihadists to come in. The FBI has come out and said that, hey, they don't have the ability to vet every single person that comes through. And they've even come out and said that there's a possibility that ISIS will use this refugee crisis as a way to infiltrate it and come into America and carry out attacks. That is why we have a serious problem on our hands. We're standing out of the center right here where people have been murdered, and our president is playing politics. That shows you what kind of leader we have, or lack thereof, I should say. You have lieutenant colonels who are retired from the military coming out and calling the president a pussy on national TV after his address at the Oval Office on Fox Business Live, coming out and saying it, speaking the God to honest truth.
Look, Mr. President, we're not afraid. We're angry. We're pissed off. We're furious.
Yes.
We want you to react. We want you to do something. You're afraid. I mean, this guy is such a total pussy. It's stunning.
These are dire times in America. We need to elect a president who is going to take care of us, one who is not going to lie to us, one who is going to do the right thing, one who's going to allow us as citizens to exercise our constitutional rights. It shouldn't be up to the police to protect us. You don't call 911 unless you need them. So why do police go up and down the roads and pull people over? Why does this kind of stuff happen? I don't need the police unless I call them. And I need the ability to have my own gun and protect myself if some crazy asshole decides to come in here and shoot the place up. That's what the Second Amendment is all about. And that's what we're fighting for here at InfoWars. For truth, for liberty, for freedom, and the Constitution. We need to be able to protect ourselves and keep this kind of stuff from happening. If we need these people, the government, then we'll bring them in. We'll ask them for it. But we need smaller government. Now, over the next several days, businesses will try to reopen. People will try to go back to a normal life. Now, we just spoke to a gentleman who actually worked with the police commission and says that this main hall right here will not reopen. They're just not going to reopen that. But these other businesses are going to try to get back to a normal life. But how can we get back to a normal life when we have this government who continues to do this, continues to bring in the jihadis, continues to allow them to exploit these crises, when we know there are families out there who really need to seek shelter, who need a place to live, who need a place to raise their family? So we will continue this documentation, investigation of the American Caliphate over the next few weeks. We're going to go to different other spots that we have planned around the country and expose what is truly going on, that Obama's afraid to say, that our mainstream media is, quite frankly, too scared to report on. So we'd like to thank you for trusting us for your source of information. Stay tuned for more reports as we expose this American Caliphate, because this will take time. And I guarantee you, in that time that we are going around the country, more of these will happen. Now, whether or not you believe this is a false flag, I'm not sure. I don't want to force my opinion upon you, but I do believe that there is something definitely fishy with this. Most people I've talked to believe that as well. We will continue to dig into this like we do other scenarios, other shootings, other things that have happened, and we'll continue to break down that analysis at Infowars.com. Once again, I'm Joe Biggs reporting from San Bernardino's Inland Regional Center.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.